Well, welcome back to Factorio Hyperbase, where our mission is to build a base of significant size, but part of the importance in this base is the journey getting to the base of significant size. I think we've already outlined that basically we're going for an 8K science per minute base, so that's pretty significant. It's certainly bigger than the 6K science per minute base we had with our SpaceX Extreme Marathon base. In any event, we seem to have probably enough the speed modules to complete the copper segment here. So the intention of this episode is probably to carry on down here to our next multi-purpose component, which will contain the processing units, the speed module 1s, and the rocket control units for our 8+ rockets per minute that we need to launch. But more particularly, by having the blue circuits being manufactured, we can actually divert all of this and start making modules so that we can build out this whole area plus the oil area a whole lot faster, because modules are the thing that are really holding us back. Speaking of the oil area, I have, before we speak of the oil area, I've moved the iron as we discussed an episode or two ago, so there's the second iron is now here. Plastic diverts to miss it and wraps round here. For now, with this one unit, we don't need crossover. The plastic will exit here. The rocket fuel will go underneath this track and be loaded on a separate pathway here. So that is about it. Let's get into it then. What are we going to need? We are going to need probably about 84 actually, so I could set that to 84 assembly machines. We're going to need a bunch of stack inserters. We're going to need a bunch of these guys, and we're going to need a bunch of these guys. What else am I going to need? I'm going to need a bunch of beacons, so I'll see how much room that takes, and then we will grab beacons. I'm probably going to have to use medium poles in this. I'm also going to need to use some pipes. Do I have any? I do have some pipes in there. And some medium poles. Let's get 100 medium poles. To round that off for now, and I guess we'll have to settle for what amounts to about 200 beacons. Are there any in here? Nope. Okay, that's fine. Keep the beacon machine manufacturing. We do actually produce beacons almost fast enough. I could actually make it 240. Let's do that. So it's not really beacons that are holding us back, it's very much the modules. Let's go to our slightly moved iron 1. Big iron 1, of course. Let me talk about one other thing that I've noticed, and that is that the iron is, as you can see, there's long periods of time now where the trains are just not able to keep up. We need more trains, but we don't really have room to service them at this end. I was thinking of adding more here, but we are kind of needing to expand these ones over a bit with all of the depleted ones, so it might be that I have to actually open up another, like open up that or possibly this one to actually fill our need here. So that's something that I might end up doing between episodes, but in any event, let's run down here. And yeah, we'll head down this one. This will take us down to where the copper is. I need to probably widen this a bit. The 2 width is a little bit short, really. And yes, and I've put some wood in these trains so we can kind of get going immediately. They're in there. Oh, there we go. It was just taking the bots a moment to come out. I may have overestimated just how many I needed there. So I've got 119 left. Because I don't actually want to start putting modules in this bit until we're kind of ready for it. So I might even store these extra modules just here. Try and remember, because I don't really want to lose 119 modules, but yeah, there you go. Now, I need the ability for some of these trains to exit, which would be effectively needing to cross these lines, because these trains are going to complete a closed loop like this. And so if these trains need to exit this way, and I think that actually they all do, is that right? Yeah, because the first 2 slots are basically, well, iron always needs to exit this way for as many of these as we do. Copper, we've got 2 from that. We kind of have, copper needs alternates, but they do need to be able to exit this way, so I think what I need to be able to do is have 1, 2, 3 lanes here. And they're going to need to cross over to this point, which we want to minimize the amount of disruption. Probably means we want to do something like that for copper. That one for iron, and this one that actually doesn't really need to get in anyone's way. Hang on, that is not actually what we need to do. These don't just go round and round in a circle. They load here, and then they, yeah. So I could actually have run these more directly, because these guys are not actually doing this at all. Although, what I might do is, because I've done that fairly neatly, I might just grab that for later. And for now we'll just get rid of that because we'll forget that we even did that. This one probably could just go, we could do this a lot more straight, but yeah, actually I'd like to do that. But we could also, that copy function from version 17 would be very nice about now. That's what I want. Let me just see if I can line these up. It looks like they line up directly in line with the rails exiting, so that's what we need to do. And over here we can get rid of these curvy bits. And then we can connect the dots basically. No need to force these to go further than they otherwise might want to. Whoops, that won't go in there because that thing's supposed to be down there. But what I do want is, I mean, it's going to go, normally it's going to go like that. But we are actually going to do this so that we can pull the red and green circuits out. Yeah, and this is the return. And this is the red and green. Let me just get my measure that I don't have on me, of course, because why would I have that on me? Well, I can make it again because I know that length. It's basically, and in fact I could, I don't really want to include that. That is the length. So if we use InfiniZoom, is that enough space? I'll just leave a little bit more space for trains to exit. One, two, and one on this side for there. So the red and green, these are the red and green. I have no train stops either, which is a slight disappointment. Nor do I have enough trains to actually see how far down this they go. this train is going to need to be able to return like so, so it is possible that I'm not actually allowing enough space after all. I guess we'll see. So if this is the backmost point, what I basically want to do is this thing here without the substations, and we probably want to shorten it a little bit actually. Because it's 23 long, I think. Let me just see. Yeah, 23 long. I figure that I need to be 21 long. Okay. Well, let's get a blueprint of this. Let's just take the first 21. We probably want these things as well. So that's 1, 2. I'll get rid of the substations. Cool. So we probably want to be down a little bit. Something like that. And now we need to change the formulas. So the question is, where am I going to run the acid? And I'm thinking I'll actually run acid down this end. So these will, if they ever get here. Come on, bots, hurry up. Obviously this is not going to be this pattern, it's going to be something else. Let's get rid of this stuff as well. Like so. So if we're going to have the sulfuric acid come from the bottom, that means that this guy and a total of 13 of them need to be the processing units. Processing units, so that's 1, 2, come on. My computer was telling me that the keyboard needs a replacement battery, so I'm wondering if it's not registered. Well, it should be. It doesn't want to copy the there we go. 2, 3, 4. 6, 7. No, it's because I'm hitting these things. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And you also need to rotate to that position. And what this means is if these are going to be doing the processing units, I am going to go... Well, I need this whole thing again, basically. Not that. Yeah, that's probably it. So the intention on this side is that because we don't want long paths of green circuits being drawn by bots all the way down here. So what we're going to do instead is define, we can get rid of that, and that will define the, we need 19 of them, which is not a full length either, but these guys will be the the speed modules. We need more because they take longer, basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whoops. They're not changing because they haven't actually been assigned. We need all but 2. You guys are all good until that point. So that's 19, that's good. And then all the rest of them are the rocket control units, but I might hold off on actually making rocket control units just yet. Now, as we did with the smelting, what I basically want to do is get rid of all of the inserters in here. So let's get this pattern and go these guys. Green. Oh, have I already? Yes, I have over there. That's alright. I'll be getting some spares back very shortly. So I only want to have, unless they're fast, which they're not, I only want to have the boxes here so that all of them can be a shared resource. This should cut down on the total number of flight paths of bots and the like. And the total number of inserters and so on as well, all of which helps. And up here as well. So, the ones that we have got, it doesn't actually matter which end we start with, but these are not going to work the way they are. What we basically need is, I guess, requesters on the outside. It doesn't really matter. Requester, that would mean that this one has to be a supply chest. And then if this is a requester, this one would have to be a supply, requester and supply and request, going to a supply chest, another requester chest, and another supply chest, another requester chest, oops, another supply chest. We must be getting close to the end of this. I don't have too many of these, do I? No. So that's a requester chest. You are a supply chest. You are a requester chest. And that's that. Okay, so now we need these to accept some sulfuric acid via these. Like so, and we'll have to sort that out, but that's the general idea for that side. Now this side we need the same sort of thing. These guys, oh that's right, the N2 we didn't, but these 19 we need to sort that out in a similar way. So I'm going to make the top one a requester chest again. In fact, I might be well served to just clear all of these things. If we take wooden chests, I don't actually have any anymore. Okay, that's interesting. Wooden chest, and these guys, and we'll just run down here. Get rid of them all, and we'll replace them with these things that don't currently have any settings in them. So another blueprint, to there, say we'll get rid of everything that is not what we need. So that's that. And then that's the first 13. And we need this to stop shy of the very end there, which would mean doesn't like lining up very well for me. That's what it would mean. It should do. There should be a point where it all fits. So that was the last one. Maybe it's because of that last one that we have an issue. No, it shouldn't be. We should be able to... okay, so, right. That's perfect. Now, if we go down, Yeah, there you go. So if you go down 2 each time, so that's 15, 17, 19. There we go. And there we go. So now if we get our... these guys should just wrap round the back, very much like the other ones do. I do have their that thing that I kept. That actually is longer than it needs to be. Why did I need so much length up the top? Maybe they're wider up here. Oh, they're three deep, right? Yeah. Alright. So we do actually want it as wide as this, just to keep them nice and straight. Like so. And that's probably too wide, isn't it? No, that's perfect. Good. And then we can have the return for the red and the green circuits like this. And that should connect up perfectly, which it does. And under normal circumstances, this one here, which we can actually get nice and close to here. That can be its return, so it returns on the other side basically. So yeah, that's our blue, or will be our blue circuit. So what I'd like to do now, I guess, is work out exactly where I'm going to put this mass module manufacture. I might even just squish it. No, I don't really want to squish it anywhere. I want it to go somewhere where there's room. Obviously I'm going to duplicate this over here, so I don't really want it here, so I want to move it at least over here somewhere. But it could survive for a little while. Let me just see. these is it? So this is our red and green coming out. I haven't actually worked out how I want this to work, but ideally I guess we have 2 lanes of 23, or possibly stretch to 24. 23 would work better, all things considered. So 23, we need 10, 5, 2, but we have 19 coming from over here for the 10. Hang on, let's see if I can kind of crunch this out. So if the rows are 23 and we have 4 of them, that gives us 92. Let's assume that we load the speed module 1s we're making over here as well. That's like having another 19 rows. So we've got 111 rows. We're dividing by 17 for 10, 5, 2. And of course it doesn't come anywhere close to evenly out. It comes to 6.5. Well, if we go for 6 sets of it, 6 times 17 is 102, minus 19, we're basically looking at 83, rows of 21, like the rows we've just put down. How am I going to get these guys back? These red and greens, I guess I could just have them come up here. And this train, yeah, so if we allow room in here, we need 4 lanes. We need 2 for the red and green. We need 1 for the blue, and 1 kind of in the middle, I guess, to fill up with modules. I'm not making a separate speed and productivity. We'll kind of combine the 2, I guess. What I do want though is that, not that, not that, that. Around this way. So it could be in sort of as far as that. No. That's not going to work. What we need to do is move all of these guys try that again. Like so. And like so. So red and green can come here. Let's get them to connect. Oh, we're basically out of rail. So red and green come in here. The blue circuits for now and the extra speed ones come in here. And we're basically loading up a train with modules. And obviously I need to adjust all of these accordingly. I think we probably are basically out of time, so I'm not sure where the module train is actually going to run to, since we don't really have an interconnected network. We've got all these separate little networks to try and save on train decision making. We'll see. I might have to make some decisions between episodes, but I think we have probably done enough for this episode. We've certainly fleshed out what we're trying to do. So thanks for joining me for this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next, when hopefully we can massively increase our module production. See you then, guys. Bye bye for now.